3 days. That was all the time Garrett Holloway had left before a judge would decide whether he deserved to keep his daughter. 3 days to somehow prove that love mattered more than the zeros in a bank account. 3 days before the state could rip Willa from his arms and hand her over to a woman who had already abandoned her once. But right now, none of that mattered. Right now, he was just trying to get home. The diner's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as Garrett untied his apron for the last time that shift. 11:45 on a Friday night, and his feet screamed inside steel-toed boots that had seen better years. 14 hours, two different uniforms, two completely different worlds. Mornings spent fixing HVAC systems in office buildings where secretaries looked through him like he was part of the furniture. Evenings slinging coffee and pie to truckers who at least had the decency to see him as human. The tip jar felt light when he emptied it into his palm. $52 in wrinkled bills and coins that stuck together. Enough to pay Loretta May for watching Willa. Enough for groceries if he stuck to the basics. Not enough to impress a family court judge who had probably never set foot in a place like this. Outside, the October air carried the first whisper of winter mixed with something else. Something dangerous. Garrett glanced at the sky through his windshield as he settled into his rusted Honda Civic. Black clouds rolled overhead, backlit by lightning that turned the world white for frozen seconds. His phone buzzed, a text from Donovan Webb, the overworked legal aid attorney who had drawn the short straw of his case. Garrett, prepare yourself. They have a new witness. Not good. His hands tightened on the wheel. Not good. As if anything about this week had been good. As if Delphine showing up after 2 years with a smile and a sobriety chip somehow erased finding Willa alone in their old apartment, crying in a soiled diaper because her mother had been gone for 15 hours chasing a high. The memory still woke him up some nights. Willa's face when he had walked through that door. The way she had reached for him with arms that shook. The smell of fear and neglect that had filled those rooms. 4 years old and already learning that the people who were supposed to love you most could vanish without warning. He had filed for divorce the next day. Full custody 3 months after that. 2 years of relative peace. 2 years of building something that resembled normal. Bedtime stories and Saturday pancakes and parent-teacher conferences where Miss Rodriguez told him Willa was thriving, happy, loved. Then Delphine's parents had hired Vincent Mercer. $50,000 retainer, the kind of lawyer who never lost custody cases. And suddenly 2 years of being present did not matter as much as the square.
Why did you stop? No one else would help us.
I have a daughter. If she were trapped out there, I hope someone would stop too.
Footage of his apartment, or the fact that he worked 70 hours a week just to keep the lights on. The radio crackled with a weather alert. Tropical Storm Elena has strengthened to Category 1 hurricane status and is expected to make landfall along the Gulf Coast around midnight. Residents are advised to seek shelter immediately. Garrett merged onto Highway 59 as the rain transformed from bullets to a waterfall. His wipers struggled at their highest setting, creating brief windows of clarity before the deluge swallowed everything again. 18 hours awake. His eyes burned. His shoulders ached from crawling through tight spaces all morning. His lower back throbbed from standing on concrete floors all evening. But Willa was waiting, always trusting that Daddy would come home. Lightning split the sky directly overhead. Thunder followed immediately, shaking the car. And then Garrett saw them, hazard lights blinking weakly through the downpour. A dark shape on the shoulder. 2 figures standing in the rain beside what looked like an expensive car. He passed them, foot still on the gas, eyes forward. Not your problem. You have got enough problems. But something made him look in the rearview mirror. Through the rain and darkness, he could make out 2 people huddled together. Young. Scared. Willa's face flashed in his mind, not as she was now, but as she had been that day 2 years ago. alone, abandoned, waiting for someone to care enough to stop. Garrett's foot hit the brake. The car fishtailed slightly before he regained control. He checked his mirrors and executed a careful U-turn. The Mercedes came into focus as he approached. Silver E-Class, hood popped open, rain pouring into the engine compartment. Two young women in their early 20s stood beside it. Identical faces tracked his approach with expressions caught between hope and wariness. Twins. Garrett pulled onto the shoulder and stepped out into the storm. The rain hit him like a physical force, immediately soaking through his work shirt. He jogged toward the women, squinting against water that ran into his eyes. The one on the left stepped slightly in front of her sister. Protective instinct. He had to shout over the thunder. Car trouble? The protective one nodded. It just died. We have been here almost an hour. Our phones are dead and nobody stopped. Her sister added, voice carrying gratitude that cut through the storm. Until you. Garrett examined the engine. Battery terminals heavily corroded. Connections loose. Simple fix under normal circumstances. Impossible in a hurricane. Your battery is shot. You are not going anywhere tonight. They looked at each other. Fear, exhaustion, the reality of being stranded. The words came out before Garrett could reconsider. I can give you a ride. There is a hotel about 20 minutes from here. Both women stared at him like he had offered them a winning lottery ticket. You would do that? Cannot leave you out here. Come on. They grabbed expensive bags from their car and followed him to the Honda. The contrast was almost comical when they slid into his beaten interior, surrounded by fast food wrappers and the faint smell of motor oil. But neither complained. They just looked relieved. Garrett pulled back onto the highway. The silence stretched before the woman in the passenger seat spoke. I am Sloan. This is my twin sister, Margot. Garrett Holloway. Sloan studied his profile in the dashboard
Mom
lights.
said I might have to leave.
You
Dad
work on
can't take care
cars,
of me.
That's not
HVAC
true.
mostly.
No matter what happens,
But I
I'm
know
here.
my way
I
around
will
an
never
engine.
leave you.
Why did you stop? We waved at probably 30 cars. I have a daughter. She is 6. If she was ever stranded somewhere, scared in the rain. He did not finish. Did not need to. Sloane's voice came softer. What is her name? Willa? Do you get to see her often? The question landed like a punch. Garrett's hands tightened on the wheel. Every chance I get, which might not be for much longer. He had not meant to say that, but exhaustion had worn down his filters, and something about these strangers felt safe. What do you mean? Margot leaned forward. Her mother and I are divorced. She is trying to take full custody. Says I am not fit because I work too much. Court date is Monday morning. That is horrible, Sloan whispered. I am doing everything I can. 2 jobs, saving every penny, showing up to every school event. But sometimes it feels like the world has already decided I am not good enough. The silence that followed felt heavier. Margot's voice came quiet. Our father is like that, always working. We barely see him. Sloan picked up the thread. He has all the money in the world. Big house, nice cars, but we would trade it all just to have dinner with him once a week without him checking his phone. Garrett glanced at her. You should tell him that. We have tried. He does not listen. Says we do not understand what it takes. Sounds lonely. It is. Money does not fix loneliness. It just makes it more comfortable. The phrase settled into Garrett's chest. He had been poor most of his life, but he had never been lonely. Not with Willa. What does your father do? He is a judge. Federal court. Bennett Ashford. Garrett ran the name through his memory, coming up empty. The hotel emerged from the rain. Garrett pulled under the covered drop-off area. Sloan and Margot gathered their bags, movement slow. Thank you. You did not have to stop. But you did. Sloan pressed a receipt into his hand. Here is my number. If you need a character witness for Monday. They waved one more time before disappearing through the sliding doors. Garrett sat there for a moment, watching rain pour off the overhang. His phone buzzed. A text from Loretta May. "Honey, are you close?" Willa tried to wait up but fell asleep. The apartment complex came into view. 3 stories of faded brick and rusted railings. Home. Loretta May stood in the doorway, silver hair pulled back, face lined with 70 years of wisdom. "Honey, you are soaked through." Garrett stepped inside, lowering his voice. "She asleep?" "On the couch. She drew you something." Garrett pulled out a $20 bill. Loretta May waved it away. "Keep it. You have got that court date Monday." Her voice carried Southern Baptist steel that allowed no argument. "The Lord does not bring us this far to abandon us now, sweetheart." She left with a quiet click. Garrett found Willa on the threadbare couch, covered by the quilt Loretta May had made for her 3rd birthday. Dark hair spread across
You don't have the best material conditions. Do you think you're fit for this? I don't have much money, but I'm there every day. When my child needs me, I'm there.
the pillow, face peaceful. On the coffee table sat her latest drawing, 2 stick figures holding hands, Daddy and me fixing things written across the top. Hearts floating around their heads. Something in Garrett's chest cracked. She stirred. "Daddy? Hey, baby girl. Sorry I am late." Willa's eyes tracked to his wet clothes. "You are all wet. Big storm out there. Did you see my picture?" "It is perfect." Garrett pulled her into his lap. "Daddy?" "Yeah, baby. Mrs. Loretta said Monday is an important day." His heart stuttered. "She did." "She said you have to go somewhere important." Willa tilted her head back, brown eyes serious. "Where are you going?" "Daddy has to go to court, a place where judges make decisions about families." Willa went very still. "Mommy said I might have to live with her, that you cannot take care of me." The words landed like physical blows. "Willa, look at Daddy." She turned, studying his face. "Mommy's wrong. Daddy can take care of you. No matter what happens Monday, I am your dad, and I love you more than anything. I do not want to leave you. You will not have to, baby, I promise." He held her until sleep pulled her back under. The storm was passing. Monday was coming. And Garrett had 71 hours to prepare for the most important battle of his life. The legal aid office occupied the 3rd floor of a building that had seen better decades. Donovan Webb sat surrounded by folders that spilled across a scarred table. "I will be straight with you. This is not good." He opened the top folder. Photographs of Garrett's apartment, the worn couch, the peeling linoleum. "Vincent Mercer has all of this. He will present it as evidence of inadequate living conditions." "It is not inadequate. It is clean, safe. I know. But compare it to what Delphine can offer. More photos, a River Oaks high-rise, granite countertops, hardwood floors. Her parents are paying 1,400 square feet. They have already decorated a room for Willa. She does not even have Willa yet. It plays well in court." Donovan pulled another folder. "Mercer has your work schedules. 70 to 75 hours a week. He will argue you are never home, because I am working to support her." Garrett's voice rose. "There is no winning. If I work less, I cannot afford rent. If I work more, I am not present enough. We focus on what we have. Teacher testimonials. Loretta May's affidavit, Willa's school records showing she is thriving. Is it enough? I do not know. Mercer is good. He will make Delphine look like a recovering saint. There is something else. Her father, Theodore Fairchild. He put up $50,000 for Mercer's retainer. The number hit like a blow. So I am done? You are outgunned. Different thing. Who is my judge? Bennett Ashford. That afternoon, Garrett's phone rang. Mr. Holloway, this is Sloan. From last night. Dread formed in his chest. Margot and I told our
I'm not rich, but I'm here. Is that enough?
It's enough. Just being here with me is enough, Dad.
father about you, about what you did. You did not have to do that. He wants to meet you. Before the hearing, Garrett agreed before he could reconsider. Magnolia Cafe, 7 o'clock. Sloan and Margot arrived, followed by their father. Tall, silver-haired, late 50s, the kind of bearing that came from years of having people stand when you entered a room. Mr. Holloway, thank you for meeting us. They shook hands. My daughters tell me you helped them when no one else would. It was not anything special. It was special to them. Bennett's eyes moved to his daughters. They compared you to me, found me wanting. Margot reached for her father's hand. Dad, it is true I spent 20 years building a career, telling myself providing was enough. We did not understand, Sloan said softly. We just learned to expect disappointment. You work 2 jobs, 70 hours a week, sometimes 75. You could use that as an excuse to be absent, but you are still there for Willa. I try to be. That is more than most people do. Bennett leaned back. What does your lawyer say? That I am outgunned. Who is your judge? Bennett Ashford. The name hung in the air. Garrett's eyes widened. Wait, you are different jurisdiction, but yes, I am Bennett Ashford. I should go. Garrett started to slide out. Mr. Holloway, wait. I am not your judge. I have no connection to your case. It does not look separate. You did not seek this meeting. You did not know who I was. Garrett settled back slowly. They talked for another hour. Bennett asking questions about Willa, listening without interrupting. As they prepared to leave, Bennett mentioned a job opening at a commercial HVAC company. I do not need charity. It is not charity. It is a job opening. I appreciate it. But no. Garrett walked out into the evening, mind spinning. Monday morning arrived with the weight of execution day. Garrett, dressed in his one good suit, kissed Willa goodbye. Will you come back? Of course. Daddy always comes back. Harris County Family Court, 4th floor, courtroom 4B. Donovan waited outside. You ready? No. Good. Delphine stepped from the elevator. Healthier, cleaner. Suit probably worth more than Garrett's monthly rent. Behind her came Theodore and Cordelia Fairchild. Old Houston money. Expressions carved from contempt. And Vincent Mercer. Late 50s, shark eyes. The bailiff called them inside. All rise. The Honorable Judge Bennett Ashford presiding. Garrett's world tilted sideways. The door opened, and Bennett Ashford walked in. Their eyes met. Recognition flashed, quickly suppressed. Before we proceed, I need to disclose a conflict of interest. The courtroom went still. Friday night, my daughters experienced car trouble. Mr. Holloway stopped and helped them. I was not aware until Sunday. Vincent Mercer shot to his feet. This is highly irregular. We request recusal. Bennett turned to Garrett. Mr. Holloway, do you waive the conflict? Donovan whispered urgently. Say the word. New judge. Clean slate. I waive the conflict, Your Honor. Miss Fairchild, Theodore whispered fiercely. Delphine listened, then stood. I waive the conflict. Theodore surged up. Your Honor, my daughter does not understand. Mr. Fairchild, you are not a party to this case. Interrupt again, and I will hold you in contempt. Theodore sat, fury radiating. Both parties have waived. This case will proceed. However, I am ordering an additional home study. Dr. Camille Fontaine will conduct evaluations. We reconvene Thursday. Dr. Fontaine arrived at Garrett's apartment Tuesday at 2. Clipboard, camera, kind eyes. Willa hid behind Garrett's leg. You must be Willa. I am Dr. Fontaine. The apartment still looked like what it was. Small, worn, but clean. Dr. Fontaine examined the yellow walls Garrett had painted himself, the bookshelf cobbled from pallet wood, the princess comforter that had required skipping meals to afford. She picked up a worn copy of The Giving Tree. Is this Willa's favorite? One of them. We read together every night. She examined the drawings taped to every wall. Daddy and me at the park. Our family, which included Garrett, Willa, and Loretta May, but not Delphine. Willa, where's Mommy in your pictures? Willa's body tensed. Mommy is not there. Just Daddy and me. Mr. Holloway, I would like to speak with Willa privately. Garrett knelt beside his daughter. Is it okay if you talk alone? Daddy will be right outside. You will not leave? Never. Through the cracked door, he caught fragments. Do you like living here? Yes, this is my home. Would you like a bigger house? Pause. Why? This is just right for Daddy and me. Do you miss Mommy? Longer pause. Sometimes. But Mommy went away when I needed her. Daddy never leaves. The words landed with the force of absolution. Every sacrifice, every double shift, every meal he had skipped so she could eat. Worth it. Garrett pressed his palm against the wall, steadying himself. Dr. Fontaine emerged. Mr. Holloway, a home is not defined by square footage. Remember that. Thursday morning, the courtroom felt charged. Bennett entered at 9 sharp. We are here to review Dr. Fontaine's report. Dr. Fontaine took the stand. At Mr. Holloway's apartment, I found a small but well-maintained space. Significant parental involvement. The child showed strong attachment. At Miss Fairchild's apartment, I found spacious, professionally furnished residence. However, the child's room was essentially empty. New furniture still tagged. No personalization. And your interviews. Willa Holloway is a well-adjusted 6-year-old with secure attachment to her father. She expressed clear preference to remain with him. Miss Fairchild showed limited knowledge of her daughter's current life, could not name her favorite book, teacher, or friends. Your recommendation? Primary custody should remain with Mr. Holloway. Vincent Mercer rose for cross-examination. How many square feet is Mr. Holloway's apartment? Approximately 680. And Miss Fairchild's? 1,400, more than double. Would you agree space benefits a child? Room is a factor. Not the determining factor. Mr. Holloway works 70 to 75 hours weekly. He is not actually present. Quality of presence matters more than quantity of hours. The child showed secure attachment. That does not develop with an absent parent. Mercer pressed for 10 minutes, made no real headway. Does the petitioner wish to present additional evidence? Mercer conferred with Theodore in urgent whispers. We request Miss Fairchild address the court directly. Delphine approached the stand, hands folded, eyes fixed above everyone's heads. Mercer's questioning started gentle. Rehab timeline, NA meetings, new job. She answered with practiced calm. Why are you seeking custody? Because I am her mother. Mothers are always best for their children. Your witness, Mr. Webb. Donovan approached slowly. When did you last see Willa? 6 months ago. How many scheduled visits did you attend last year? I do not recall exactly. 24 scheduled. 7 attended. Is that accurate? I was dealing with recovery. Yes or no? Yes. On 3 of those 7, you arrived intoxicated. Correct? Mercer objected. Bennett overruled. Yes. Donovan let the admission hang. What is Willa's favorite book? We read lots of books. Who is her teacher? I do not know. Who are her friends? Garrett handles school things. What is she like for breakfast? This is ridiculous. I have been in treatment. These are not details, Miss Fairchild. These are basics of your daughter's life. A life you have been absent from for 2 years. Delphine's composure shattered. Whose idea was it to file for custody? Yours or your parents'? Theodore surged up. Delphine, be quiet. Bennett's gavel came down hard. Mr. Fairchild, sit down immediately or I will have you arrested. Theodore sat. Donovan pressed. Are you seeking custody because your parents threatened to withdraw support if you did not? Silence stretched. Delphine looked at her father, at Mercer, at Garrett. Yes. The word dropped like a bomb. Bennett leaned forward. Miss Fairchild, if I told you the best thing for Willa is to remain with her father, what would you do? Delphine's hands twisted. I do not know. I do not know what I would do. Thank you for your honesty. You may step down. Bennett turned to Mercer. Any other witnesses? No, Your Honor. Mr. Webb? The respondent rests. Bennett folded his hands. The facts are clear. Mr. Holloway has demonstrated consistent, engaged parenting for 2 years. The child is thriving. Miss Fairchild has been honest about her motivations. However, honesty does not change that she appears to be seeking custody due to external pressure. This court awards primary physical custody to Garrett Holloway. His gavel fell. Mr. Fairchild, Bennett's voice turned cold. I am referring this matter to the Texas State Bar. Coercing a vulnerable family member into frivolous custody claims may constitute misconduct. Theodore's face went purple. You cannot do this. Do you know who I am? You are addressing a federal judge who has documented evidence you coerced your daughter into filing against her will. I can refer this to the district attorney. I can ensure every judge in Texas knows exactly what kind of man walks through their courtroom when Theodore Fairchild appears. His gavel came down final. Leave my courtroom. Now. Cordelia pulled Theodore toward the exit. Delphine approached Garrett. I am sorry for all of it. You did the right thing today. My parents have probably disowned me, but I feel lighter than I have in months. What will you do? Keep going to meetings. Figure out who I am without their money. Can I see her sometimes? Supervised? We will start small. You stay clean. Show up consistently. Thank you. Delphine walked away without looking back. Bennett appeared beside him. You are being generous. She is Willa's mother. If she can get healthy, Willa deserves that relationship. Thank you for seeing what mattered. I saw what the evidence showed, but helping my daughters gave me insight about what it means to be present versus simply providing. How are Sloan and Margot? Different. Better. We have been having dinner together. Actual dinner. Phone off. They are teaching me to cook. I am terrible at it. It is never too late to learn. They would like to see you again. Saturday dinner? Saturday works. 6 months later. Garrett clocked out at 4 o'clock. Same time every day for 5 months. Johnson Commercial Systems had changed everything. $65,000 a year. Full benefits. Health insurance that meant he could take Willa to the doctor without calculating copays. Bennett's friend John Miller had called 2 days after the hearing, offered him the supervisor position before he finished his coffee. No charity, just recognition. Now Garrett had something he had never had. Time. Time for Saturday pancakes that stretched into lazy mornings. Time for bedtime stories without falling asleep mid-sentence. Time to coach Willa's t-ball team. Time to actually live instead of survive. Loretta May had cried when he told her about the job. Happy tears mixed with bittersweet. She had watched Willa nearly every day for 2 years. Garrett still paid her 3 afternoons a week, not because he needed help, but because she had become family, real family, the kind you chose. She had made Willa a new quilt for her 7th birthday. Purple this time, because Willa announced purple was the new happy color. The old yellow one still sat folded at the foot of Willa's bed. Too precious to replace. Garrett pulled into Bennett's driveway. Willa burst from the car before he turned off the engine. Saturday dinner had become ritual. Garrett stood in Bennett's backyard watching Willa play on the treehouse they had built together over 3 months of Saturdays. Simple construction, platform, ladder, walls, roof, but sturdy enough to last. Bennett appeared beside him, 2 beers in hand. You know what I have been thinking about? A year ago, my daughters were stranded. A stranger stopped when no one else would. That stranger changed everything. I just gave them a ride. You did more. You reminded them people still help each other. Reminded me what being a father actually means. I spent 20 years building a career, telling myself I was providing. But they did not need what I could buy. They needed me. You are here now because you showed me what here looks like. Bennett raised his beer to stopping in storms. Garrett clinked bottles to showing up. Sloane had left for Yale Law in August. Standing at the airport gate, she had hugged her father so long she nearly missed her flight. I am proud of you, Bennett had whispered, words he had never said enough. Her letters arrived weekly, handwritten on cream stationery, full of law school stories and a boy in her torts class who kept asking her to coffee. She video called every Saturday, sometimes just to show Bennett her latest houseplant, sometimes just to sit in comfortable silence 3,000 miles apart. Margot had taken a teaching position at Heights Elementary, kindergarten, 30 small humans who called her Miss Margot. Most Saturdays she arrived before anyone else, helping Bennett attempt whatever disaster he was cooking, teaching him techniques their mother had tried 20 years ago. He was getting better. Slowly. Tonight she had brought Willa a friendship bracelet kit. The two had been inseparable since the treehouse was finished. Found family, Bennett had called it once. The best kind. Garrett's phone buzzed. A text from Delphine. 15 months clean today. My counselor says I am ready for unsupervised visits if you are comfortable. No pressure. He showed Bennett the message. What do you think? She has been consistent, shown up, stayed clean. Willa deserves a mother if her mother can be present, Garrett typed back. Let us start with a few hours Saturday. We will see how it goes. Thank you. I will not let her down. Willa's laughter rang across the yard, Margot chasing her around the treehouse. I have been thinking about something else. Bennett's voice was quiet. All those years I thought success meant winning cases, building reputation. But watching you with Willa, building life on modest means and pure presence, that is success. That is what significance looks like. Success is what you achieve. Significance is who you impact. The words settled into evening air. Bennett nodded, recognizing truth. They stood together as sky darkened, two fathers from different worlds who had found unexpected friendship in a hurricane's aftermath, both learning, growing, figuring out how to be present for daughters who taught them showing up mattered more than anything money could buy. Willa called from the treehouse. Daddy, come see what we built. Garrett handed his beer to Bennett and jogged across the yard, climbed the ladder to where his daughter waited with a proud smile. He settled beside her. Let her explain the intricate relationships among her stuffed animals. Margot sat on Willa's other side, adding commentary about the stuffed giraffe's romantic troubles. From the patio, Bennett watched with contentment Garrett had never seen on his face. His phone rang. Work, important. He pulled it out, looked at the screen, and powered it off, then climbed the treehouse ladder himself, squeezed onto the platform, listening to Willa's story with the same focus he once gave Supreme Court briefs. The October evening stretched long and warm. A year ago, Garrett had stopped in a storm because it was the right thing to do. He had not known those stranded women would lead him here. To friendship, stability, a life that no longer required sacrificing everything just to survive. Sometimes the smallest kindnesses created the biggest changes. Sometimes helping strangers saved you as much as them. Sometimes one choice in a hurricane became foundation for family, built not on blood or obligation, but on presence, gratitude, and showing up. Willa leaned against Garrett's shoulder. Margot added sound effects. Bennett laughed, Real, genuine, free. And in that moment, perched on a platform they had built together, Garrett understood what grace actually meant. Not absence of struggle, but presence of people willing to weather storms beside you. Willa looked up, brown eyes bright. Daddy, are you happy now? Garrett pulled her close. Yeah, baby girl, I am happy. Willa smiled, gap-toothed, heart cracking. Good, because when you are happy, the whole world smiles too. Kids did not need perfect parents. They needed present ones. And present was exactly what Garrett Holloway intended to be. For all the days ahead, for this daughter who taught him that love without presence was just a word. But presence with love could change entire worlds, starting with his.
The story leaves a profound yet very real lesson. In raising and loving a child, presence is far more important than material possessions. Modern society often measures a person's value by income, house, or status. But the story overturns that measure with simple details. A small apartment, long shifts, frugal meals, and above all, a father who is always there when his child needs him. Love isn't about ostentatious abundance, but about being present at the right time, in the right way, and never leaving. Another lesson is that responsibility cannot be replaced by money. The powerful and financially secure characters in the story believe they can compensate for their absence with comfort, a good lawyer, or spacious living quarters. But the child doesn't need those things. What he or she needs is a sense of security. The belief that when afraid or hurt, there will always be someone to reach out and support them. That bond cannot be bought, nor can it be created through hasty or superficial decisions. The story also emphasizes that small acts of kindness can create big changes. A decision to stop the car in the middle of a storm, seemingly unrelated to the legal battle, became a turning point that changed the fates of many people. It reminds us that every act of kindness has a ripple effect, even if we don't see immediate results. Sometimes, helping others is also opening a new path for ourselves. Finally, the story teaches that parenting doesn't require perfection, but rather perseverance and sincerity. The father in the story wasn't wealthy, wasn't idle, and was even constantly tired. Yet he never gave up his role. It was this perseverance that built a true family, not based on blood ties or obligations, but on love, presence, and the courage to stand firm in the face of adversity.